Three, two, one. Go ahead. We're ready, Ray.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Gamers Realm podcast. So I'm Ray Strasdis, back here with Mr. Switch.
What's going on, guys?
And we also have a special guest here, PJ Haarsma.
Haarsma rhymes with car. Haarsma.
Haarsma.
There you go.
Cool. Well, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having
me. Pleasure to have you. So you work on a lot of cool projects, it seems.
I try.
What's one of your favorite things that you've ever produced?
I've worked in a lot of different mediums of novels, comic books, TV shows, games. One of the coolest experience though was making Con Man. Just so many great people. Alan Tudyk is such a genius. Being able to work with him, being able to create that from literally nothing to what it became, like just from doing it from just shooting the shit around a table to what it became is just, I'm pretty proud of that. So that definitely Con Man's up there.
Very cool. And I also see you produce Retro Replay as well.
Yeah, that was something that Nolan and I wanted to do after Con Man. We wanted to stay, making stuff, and we were looking at different things to do, what it could be. We actually were going to do a spin-off of Jerry Lansing character, and then we were chasing the Uncharted rights to do an animated series with Nathan Drake, and then we decided to put this a type of gaming show together where we're going to follow all the people around at Naughty Dog and the different places that make Nathan Drake, like the guy that does his face and all this, and really behind the scenes game stuff. And it was cool. We were going to go do it, and then I pitched the idea to my partner Drew, and he came back with the idea that is now Retro Replay. So that we worked on that together and got that going, and now we're just about to wrap season 3. So it's a lot of fun working on that show too, and I get to work with Nolan all the time. He's a very funny guy. Like, I mean, he's so funny. Like the stuff that he says, sometimes I'm like, let's just make a show with you saying that. He gets pretty dirty though sometimes, so we can't. I mean, really dirty, like that uncomfortable dirty. Like you're just like, oh, you're right on the edge where you are too far.
Right. Well, at times I guess I could make for good content, but you guys have to weigh your options too.
Yeah.
With things. Oh yeah, Mr. Switch, you got anything? I think
with your career, can you give us let's say a little bit of a life story based on how everything started for you going into production, and even with your books, the books you've written, things like that. Just kind of give us all that, if you want to spill that, all of it, or
well, I have a degree in science. I was going to be a surgeon. I was doing that route, and I dropped out of college, turned my back on my medical career, and I fell into photography, and I was a fashion photographer, and I used to live between Miami and New York shooting fashion. And then from there I went into directing commercials, and then directing commercials to producing commercials. I had a production company, and then my wife went to work in Brazil, I believe it was, and I was in San Francisco. I was working on Levi's account, and I saw AFI in Los Angeles, this filmmakers boot camp, and I thought, maybe I wanted to get back in on the camera side, and I went to this AFI boot camp to do this 30 days, make a short. And I went there, and they're handing out jobs, and I didn't know what was what. And I read the producer role, and I was like, well, I do this all the time. So I took that role. We made the shorts, and then when that was finished, this kid calls me, Chris Mizet, and he says, hey, listen, I got some money. You want to produce a movie for me? So that was my first way into. It was the first big entertainment project I did. And we just stayed in it there, and advertising. So, I have an advertising agency that I own as well. And I've always got one foot in advertising. I love the production. I love how fast it goes. A movie can take 5-10 years of your life. You can do a movie-sized commercial and be in and out in 3 months, you know, soup to nuts. So I love being on set, and I love cameras, and I love all that part. So being in advertising and doing commercials like that, that's, you know, that gives me that high all the time. So, and then, but the advertising side, you know, it's very stressful, and it gets, you can really build up, you know, you just, after a while, you're like, I can't take this anymore. And there was one point where I had a studio downstairs. I was in LA, I had a studio downstairs, and I was living upstairs, this beautiful 4-floor loft I had. While the people were coming in downstairs, I was upstairs journaling. And through the journaling, I started writing, and I thought I wrote a book. I had a book. And then I sold that to Random House, did 4 books, fired everybody, thought I was going to be J.K. Rowling. And that was I couldn't make the same money with books. Books are hard, man. Publishing is hard. And then at the same time, the big recession hit in 2008, and it was just bad. I was like, I got to do something. And I went back to work on advertising. A friend of mine that I knew from years ago in Canada was working in Irvine, and asked me if I'd come run the production at the agency. And so I went back there, and then everybody found out I was producing again. And Nathan and Alan called me up and said, "You're producing, and we need help with something." So, and then the Con Man, I came back to do Con Man. And so, you know, it's just getting out there and working with the people, and, you know, saying yes to things. And even when you don't think you can do them, try them. Like I didn't know how to make a movie. First time I went around, and, you know, you figure stuff out, you get it done. You just, you know, keep your certain things true, and keep your, you know, make sure that you're always having a good time, and keep your integrity with you, and, you know, make sure you're dealing with good people. And the minute, you know, they're not good people, get rid of them. And you know, you get to make things you love. That's what I'm doing now.
Awesome. Very cool.
Amazing.
Very cool. So going into Con Man, your experience seems like it was a very great experience when you were going through that, and just tell us about the heartwarming experience that you felt. 'Cause again, I seen some clips, you know, just how you just love the show. Tell us more the insight about that.
You know, I read a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff comes on my desk to read, and I'll be honest with you, it's hard for me to read it all. There's so much going on. But Alan gave me a couple scenes of Con Man, and it was fascinating. I couldn't put it down. I loved it. I never laughed out loud so much with reading a script. And then, you know, him and I were simply just trying to figure out, you know, what could we do? Maybe just put something on YouTube, do little tiny shorts. And we tried to go the traditional route. You know, we shot a little teaser, just me and him and a camera. I'm shooting it in the bathroom stall of that famous scene where they're passing the papers underneath. And when we made a teaser of that, and then we went the traditional route, you know, and had options at different production companies. We were going to go do a deal with Legendary, and wasn't a very good deal. And at the last minute, I said to him, I said, "Listen, I can do this. I mean, I'm in advertising. I know people. I know your fan base. They love you, and there's a way we can use that." And so we didn't go to the meeting. Instead, we went back and we started crowdfunding, and we raised $3.2 million in 30 days. And all of a sudden now we had this money to make something that we loved. Like, we loved the concept. We had the money to make it, and we got to do it on our own terms. That's rare. That's really rare. So, you know, everybody that was involved loved it. So it was never work, right? Didn't matter how long the days were. Everything, it was just, everybody just loved being there. And then the best thing I would get is people would come to the set and they wouldn't leave. They'd be like big famous actors, and they'd be like, "Oh my God, this is the best set I've ever been on." And you know, it was a family feel. You know, everybody's involved. Everybody has a say. It's really positive. And if you don't, you know, you're removed, or you're it's made known that what you're doing isn't working. You know, that attitude. There's no time for attitude. So I live by that on everything I do. It's got to be fun. I'm too old. It's got to be fun.
Right. Gotta have that that feel that you want to do the job, you want to enjoy your time, not hate your job.
Yeah, it's important because it's stressful and being creative on the fly all the time. You know, it takes its toll, and you know, the creative people. You know, there's, you know, creative people. You have to be able to understand and be sensitive to the process and to the needs, and you know, that's an important part. And so when the environment is positive, then you just get better creative things.
Ray, do you have anything for us?
Yeah, I'm just gonna chime in on that. That's very, very interesting to me. Like as a creator on YouTube, I see a lot of parallels between what you're saying and what like I'm doing as well. So it's tough to be creative with like 3 videos a week, you know, like 4 videos a week, whatever it is. There's just like, I don't know, there's just like a lot of pressure too as well. Like I have that film background, so I know what you're saying with like with the production and everything. But like personally too, with like YouTube, it's like, it's nuts. It's like, it's tough to keep up with just everything.
YouTube is a strange animal in that it benefits you. You know, I've worked with a lot of different YouTubers, but the thing that is common is that YouTube rewards you by putting out more content. So there's this desire and need to push and do more. You look at some of those family channels, like they're putting up 5 videos a week.
Oh,
I
yeah.
just can't imagine how they can stick to that schedule. You know, there was one point there with Retro Replay, we were having 4 videos a week, and yeah, it helped with the numbers and that, but we were all just like, my God, I don't think we need to do this. I don't want to do this. Or, you know, or you split it all off and you got enough people helping you to get it done. That's a different scenario, but most of us don't have that when we're doing it for YouTube. So yeah, it's that. I don't know how people remain creative. And there's some guys putting out creative content all the time. I'm just impressed as hell that they can stick to that level. So yeah, like the new format with Retro Replay, we're trying to take all the things that we were putting them as separate entities and kind of putting them all into one show now to give it more variety. We've been thinking about rolling Uncle Noli into the main Thursday show. So we don't know. We see. It's always evolving. Whatever the peeps like.
Right.
And we just launched a new website too. The Retro Replay Show website just got launched. And,
Website, okay.
And the users can come and put up their own articles on gaming and pop culture. And we're really trying to create a community where all these people that are also creative and have so many great ideas and opinions, give them a place where they can their voices can be heard. And after that, we'll go into video content. But it's pretty good so far, and it's all the replayers are in there contributing. It's pretty exciting. See where that goes.
.com?
Yeah, retroreplayshow.com.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah. So we're in a soft launch right now, making sure nothing breaks.
Let's see. I wanted to talk to you about. I have some favorite episodes, and man, I had a lot of I burst out just cracking up, and it's been a good while. And I'm gonna go with 2 scenes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go right into season 2, episode 3. Them's the breaks, and that scene at the end where he's just sitting down, and he's a little bummed out. I think he just broke up with his girl, and then Dale comes out. Dale's dressed up in his like girl costume or outfit, but he turns around, once he sits, at the moment he sits, I'm just like, why is Ray looking down at him? Like, I'm like trying to get like hold myself. He's like, your balls in the salsa. I was like, oh my God. It was just such like, who writes that? Was that Alan or
yeah, that's all Alan. He's just hilarious. But you know, we had to make prosthetic balls for that. Like we had a prop man make these balls so they could hang down low enough.
Oh man, I was like my girl, we were just going crazy, and it was just good you're enjoying the holidays and you're catching up with some good episodes, and that popped up. And even one where there was season 1 episode 7, it's called Dollface, and then you have Ray's sitting on the table. I think her name is Lewis, played by Tricia Helfer.
Tricia Helfer. She's great.
Helfer.
She's amazing. Yeah, the baby stuff that's based on a true story, the baby stuff.
Oh, I believe that for sure. Yeah, there's some things that people, they need in life. And I just remember the part where he's sitting down and she goes to the washroom, and the moment that he gets on the phone call and he put the baby on a high chair, and the baby just slips off. And then I was like, oh shit. It's like I want this episode to end right now. Can this episode end? Because I feel so bad. It's like, end it now. I was like, and then he picks up without the head. I was like, oh my God. I was like, where's the head? And he picks it up and he's got I thought it was just the head snapped
And the
off.
bun, the bun, and the baby face break, and he's trying to put the pieces back on the doll's face. Oh God. Yeah, that read so funny. Like I've never read something that funny. To tell you that the first time we put the scene together, first time we cut it, it wasn't funny. Like something happened and it wasn't funny the first time we cut it. And Alan is a genius when it comes to comedic timing. And he literally sat there with the editor and shaved it into the timing to make it as funny as it is, because it's timing and you just have to know when to do it. And, at that time we were cutting, it was really hard to get our hands on editors, even harder to get your hands on a comedic editor. So you really got to tap Alan on the back for how he sat and worked through the edit. When he went to do Star Wars, we would send him clips and he would be on his phone while on his belly laying on these big Star Wars scenes making edit notes. We had this edit system where he could, whenever he stopped the tape, he could make notes that time code would then go back to the editor to get his note right at that time code. So while he's on the other side of the world shooting Star Wars, it's hilarious.
I knew I seen him somewhere in Star Wars. Like, wait. It's like when you watch a movie and you see that, man, he's just awesome. Just kind of, when I first saw him was in Knight's Tale way back, years ago.
Yeah.
And I love his character stood out as much as I enjoyed the main actor. Rest in peace. Just him in terms of himself he stood out. He made you laugh. When he wants to phone you or whatever his words were in those scenes. It's just, and I was able to see more of him. I want to just, this is exciting.
He's good. He's everything he does. Anything he's in, watch. It's good. He, he'll always be known for being K2SO, but the famous scene with them in the bathroom, in the stall. Star Wars, to convince him to come do it, took K2SO and superimposed it into the bathroom scene with his dialogue. So I have a clip of K2SO on a toilet talking to people on either side of him. No one's ever seen it except me and Alan.
Until today.
Yeah. He'd kill me if I ever gave it out. He'd just kill me. Probably kill me for mentioning it.
He's watching you right now.
Yeah. So yeah, no, but my favorite thing, if you ever get a chance to watch the episode voiced over with Nolan and Alan and oh my God, I'm forgetting his name from all of us. I can't pronounce his last name very well. What's his name? I gotta look it up. So
Which episode is it?
It's called Voiced Over.
Is that a show or is that an episode from?
That's an episode in season 1.
Okay.
So you can see a clip of it. There's a clip of it. It's just D'Amelio. How do you pronounce?
Yeah, I got trying to make sure my volume's not too loud.
I can't remember. People are going to yell at me for.
Oh, they were doing a lot of
Milo Ventimiglia. There we go. So he's in it too. So it's the three of them, and it's the one, to me, it's the funniest scene in Con Man.
Yeah, I was just like, what are they doing? Well, yeah, he's just getting kind of pissed off because they get the better roles, and he gets all mad, and the lady pretty much kicks him out.
It's such a good episode. Really good.
Yeah, I definitely. I'm on. Oh, hold on. Music. Okay, it's kind of loud.
Yeah, season 1, episode 8. What's that one?
Yeah, I got at least I think 4 more left on season 2, and I'm just like, yep, I'm catching it all, and just it's an incredible series, and knowing that you're behind. Did you take part? Did you change anything during, let's say, some is anything in the script? Was that just all Alan's script wise, or did you like sometimes change
You
it?
know, he ran things by me, but creatively it was always him. It was my job. You know, I said it this way: listen, I'm just going to create this playground for you to play in, and I'm going to protect you to get to do exactly what you want to do. And that was my role as the producer, is to set it up so he did not have to have any issues with making what he wanted. Now, did he have issues? Yeah, you know, it's a hard thing to make your own TV show. But you know, that as a producer, it was my job to pull all those elements together for him. So I don't think I ever. I mean, I made comments, but I never changed anything he wanted to do. That guy is brilliant. Like, I would be stupid to change anything.
So it's kind of when after season 2 had finished, I was learning that you guys were wanting to go to 8 seasons, and it's just like this. I have no. It pisses me off, but this had so much potential to be at the end. And I wondered if it was just timing within the year.
Well, Lionsgate optioned 8 seasons, and then at the end of season 2, you know, there was Star Wars, there was everything going on. It was a lot of pressure on Alan. He needed some time to do some other things, and we couldn't just go right back into it. And then the vision at Lionsgate that had the rights, they went under, so they kicked us over to Sci-Fi, and then Sci-Fi, I don't know what they did in their delivery of it, but you know, there was we couldn't get the band back together. We couldn't get the band back together. It was unfortunate. We all wanted to do it, but you know, schedules and timing, and you know, because normally in a scenario when you go to do 8 seasons, everybody is signed on. This was all friends together. There was no contracts where people had to be signed on.
Okay.
So there was no contractual obligation to do anything. So that's that doesn't make it easier if you're trying to put the band back together. So
Ray,
we'll
do
see.
you have something? Ray?
I'm just tuning in for now.
Okay.
I'm gonna have a lot of questions at the end.
Okay, sure. Let's see. Well, I have. So I wanted to ask because there's one character that definitely stood out on the show a lot. She made me crack up a lot, and Mindy Sterling played
Love
Bobby.
Yeah, I
Man, where
love
did she
her.
come out of? She was just like, boom, crazy. And watching her act, I was chasing the hairstyles every single episode.
All the wigs. I still have all those wigs. They're at the studio. I still have them all. Mindy was great. She came out of that famous comedy troupe. What was it called? The Changelings? Something. I can't remember. I'm sorry. I'm so bad with names. But you remember her from
Austin Powers?
Yeah, Austin Powers. And Mindy's brilliant. I love Mindy so much. She's just, I love her. She's such a good soul. Yeah, she's funny, and she loved Alan, and they had fun working it out together. It was funny sometimes. Alan, because there was these words Alan would make up, you know, comedy wise, and he'd have to run her through them and get to understand what does that mean. Like some really dirty sexual jokes. I don't get what that means. But yeah, she was awesome. Yeah, and Nolan and her, we had a great relationship. Yeah, you're making me reminisce. Good times.
Nolan and her had that episode where Ray was, they just had a big old party. They just party. He wakes up, hits his head on the table, and goes around the sofa, checks his computer, and then she comes out like in a robe thinking, did we? And then Nolan comes out, oh shit. And then it just totally just that's another one of those that just hit you hard. You're laughing so much. And then he just like, I guess ends up destroying his computer because they recorded themselves on the laptop. I was like, oh shoot, this is some really good stuff. And just I gotta watch that episode again. But yeah, that was.
And when he comes back, it takes the underwear. Did that make it into the scene? Did it come? Yeah, it come back. Yeah, that's so good. It's so good. I go watch it from the beginning again. I mean, I've seen it so many times.
So I think going into retro replay with Nolan North, his character is just very entertaining. He's very funny, and he's just got always, even if it's like he sits down on the sofa and just chit chats. And then he also interviewed Alan too not too long ago.
Yeah.
then we even had you guys had Troy Baker, but of course he had left, and so having all those guys at one time was pretty big, pretty huge, and you know think however it occurred, and I have like Troy was cool, but Nolan and him together. Then you guys have off and on different guests, things like that now, which is I like the way it's turning into when you make changes. You know how Troy, um, he was what the voice of Joel from
Last
the
of Us. Yeah,
Last
from
of Us
Last of Us.
too.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
with COVID, it's hard because it's hard to get people in the studio. I mean, I just heard now LA's on lockdown again. But we once the COVID's over, we will have people in the studio on the chair. That's the game plan. The we December 4th is our last shoot day. That'll take us through the end of till Christmas, and then we'll be off for a few weeks, and then pick season 4 back up in the end of January. We'll start shooting, be back on air in February. I still think we'll be doing remote then. I don't think people will be going into the studio yet. So I probably till the vaccine is out or something happens, I don't see us having people in the chairs until maybe April.
April, maybe early summer.
Yeah, April would be a very, lucky if we could get it going by April. So it's a weird time right now. It's just weird. But the remote format seems to be working. People are liking it. They like the game section where the replayers come in and play games with Nolan, and so it's good. It's always evolving. So we'll see what happens.
Let's see. So with the pandemic, but it has held you back at times throughout the.
Oh, completely. We had so many guests that are like they want to be on the show, but we want them in person. So we have to wait. We have to wait. We've got some good guests coming up for the end of the year. More and more people are getting used to that. If I'm going to still do shows, I got to do these remote things. But yeah, I really miss the energy of two people in front of the camera and shooting the shit. That energy always works the best.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. Definitely. What was the next one? I know that Alan's got the Resident Alien. Is that his thing? Are you involved with Resident Alien?
No, I'm not. That's he's doing that with Sci-Fi Channel. Okay. That looks awesome. I'm so excited. That comes out soon, doesn't it? I've seen clips and trailers. I've been following it from the beginning.
Possibly, supposedly January 14th.
January 14th. Yeah, he's up. He's up in Canada now. He's loving it. He says the show is really cool. He's super happy about it. He sends us clips and trailers and makeup stuff because he has that. There's that alien part. Where that part of him is an alien.
Yes.
So it's I'm excited. I'm excited to actually. I hope it does really good for him.
Okay. See, Ray, do you have anything right now?
Yeah, I guess I'll ask some of the questions that I had just to, I guess we'll stray away a little bit. But I'm like a total like nerd for like film and like tech and everything like this. So this is like really cool. So like, what are like some tips that you would have for like someone who's looking to get into the industry of like video production, film, all of that?
At what level? Like there's so many different, like it's better if you tell me what you want to do. Like, do you want to do commercials? What size commercials do you want to do? Do you want to do your own YouTube stuff? Do you want to, there's so many things that I would pick different equipment for because I'm a bit of a techie. So, I know a camera I like if I'm shooting a cinematic style of commercial and I know what kind of crew I had to do. But then, on Retro Replay, I do a different camera for a completely different reason, because they got the cameras run long times, and so I love in the studio we use these Blackmagic cameras, the older ones that take the hard drive right into them, so it's perfect for us. They can stay on for hours, and you just swap drives out and throw them to tech. Like it's a perfect scenario for us. But would I use that camera anywhere else? No. I've got a hankering right now to buy a red. I just finished shooting in Hawaii for a new TV series I'm doing, and we used a red, and I was really loving it. I just bought myself a little AS7 S3, just which is a gorgeous little camera. I'm shocked at how gorgeous that camera is.
Sony's, yeah,
Yeah.
Sony's are great.
Yeah, you know, so it all depends. I'd have to sit down with you and ask you what's the end product, and then I'd walk you back out. So if you're just, you know, doing YouTube streaming, you know, and I hate saying it like that, I'm saying if you're doing YouTube streaming, then we would sit and talk about, so what kind of quality do you want? You know, if you look at Retro Replay, there's a lot of production value in it, and it comes from our background, and, you know, we light the crap out of that thing. I love lighting. So that, you know, if I could walk you through the set on how that's lit, it's very meticulous. Every light has a purpose. Everything is measured. And you light something like that, you can use any camera. Any camera will make it look good. So if you don't have good lighting, then I'm going to, you know, give you a different camera to use. So, you know, I would make sure you have good lights and a good story, and then good sound. And then it doesn't matter what you shoot it on. You know, it really doesn't matter what you shoot it on anymore. My daughter has been doing a lot of TikTok stuff lately, and I'm amazed at what she's pulled off just by one little LED light, some colored lights in her room, and my phone, and the way she edits. I'm like shocked at what she's pulled off. And it's funny too, is because she's really getting into the editing side of it. And when we were in Hawaii, I used her as one of the talent in one of the shots. And because she's been editing, she's like, "Why are you setting it up over there? Well, what shot are you going to go to after this?" And and the crew guys were just like, "Yeah, watch out for that one. We're going to take over your job."
It's very interesting too, because like you're saying, a lot of the content now is filmed on smartphones, and smartphones have like fantastic cameras. So it basically goes back to, like you said, having a good story and all that content, which is good for like new people like looking to start wherever it is, like, you know, YouTube or any type of video production. This is great to just like get people off the ground, because all you could need right now is pretty much in your pocket.
Yeah, and then just, you know, for me, again, I always go back to the lighting. You know, look at the light can do so much. Look at where you're placing your light. Then worry about your composition. And again, any camera will do. I have all kinds of cameras, you know, and I can make them all look the same. There's not, you know, and then if you do get into the cameras, then it's going to be, what kind of glass are you buying? What do you put? What glass are you putting on that? These people that buy really expensive cameras and shitty lenses, I'm like, what'd you do that for? Why don't you just buy a shitty camera and save yourself all that money? So half of the battle is the glass, you know. So, you know, and then what are you trying to do? Like, I found this glass, and I only use it on Retro Replay because it gives it a cinematic look in the video vibe. You know, it makes everybody look really good. But I wouldn't use that lens for a corporate commercial. It's just too soft. So, you know, use the tools to help you tell your story. And so that's, you know, I would really have to sit down with you and you tell me what it is. If we're doing a technical type commercial, a pharmaceutical type commercial, I'd definitely go reach for a red, you know, because it's got that crisper, more electric look. You're shooting a heart tugging, you know, commercial. Like I just did one for UCI, and I said we need this to shoot this on an Alexa. It's got to be an Alexa, because the older Alexas give you that beautiful cinematic look. So it all depends what you're doing.
Very cool, very cool. And I noticed I haven't seen any of your commercials. I have a lot of of your content to catch up after this, which is going to be fun to go through. But like, as far as like commercials, I really love doing commercials. I've done commercials for a few brands, like just because of my YouTube stuff. So not really like professional level, but they still ran as like YouTube ads and things like that. So as far as like your commercials, like what's one that really like stands out that you're really proud of?
I went to Spain to shoot these 3 commercials for Public Storage. And you can see them on redbear.tv. And they were just, we brought this director. He's won like 9 Palme d'Ors from Cannes. He's really good. What's his name? Rodrigo Garcia. And these art crews took entire houses, swapped them out, and then swapped them back all within a day. Like, the crew was insane. and we built like a miniature dollhouse that with a dwarf and a ferret that like to taking over the kid's doll. I mean, it was just bizarre and wacko in Spain in the middle of nowhere. That was really weird and fun. And then same director, I did something for a whiskey company. What was the whiskey? I can't remember what it was. And we did that in Mexico City. And that was like, we had a practical where the girl, like the guy's head's on backwards. That's all I can tell you. That's all I could like, and she's into him. And there's another one where he's got a guy, like he's growing just the weirdest thing. Like he looks down on his leg and he has a growth, but it's a little him on a computer. So we shot it all practical and then put it together. You can see those on redbear.tv too. But I like it weird. I like the challenge of doing weird things and breaking the norm. Like lately, we've had a lot of those commercials where they're like, when we get back to normal again, or what's next, or all these pandemic commercials, and everybody's doing the same thing. I like it when people do different things. I love it when the commercial is different.
Very cool.
I worked on all those Best Buy ones for this Christmas. That was a big, it was huge, as biggest commercials I've ever done. They were fun because we got to use the house from Christmas Story. Got to use that house. So I like big production too.
That's fascinating. And a lot of them are 30-second spots.
Yeah, usually 30 seconds, sometimes a minute. The ones I just did for UCI, they had a minute, they had a 60 second. It's just ad time costs you double. So you usually stick to 30s.
Gotcha. Very cool. That's awesome. Yeah, like I said, I have a lot of catching up to do, so I definitely want to check those out for sure. Love the weird stuff too, so it's gonna be right up my alley.
You enjoy those episodes. So let me see. I was gonna get to your earliest. I do want to get into one question within gaming. We talked about it for a second. What is your earliest game that you enjoyed that you just remember brought you back to nostalgia, that feeling?
What was the first game? The first game that sucked me in was World of Warcraft, way back when it was just a desktop. That was my real big suck into gaming. And then I was fascinated with gaming. When I wrote the Softwire series, I wanted to have a website, and I didn't like what most of the book websites were. So I actually built my own video game, an online video game called Rings of Orbis. That was up for 10 years. That was so much fun. And I literally worked with and designed and worked with coders, and we never had any money to do it. And the publishing company was afraid of the internet back then. But I actually had built this beautiful, big HTML Flash environment where people would hang out. We had thousands of people coming and playing every day. And it was kind of like remember Neopets back in the day? It was kind of like a Neopets, but with aliens. And
Okay.
yeah, it was fun. I learned a lot. And then I built the Con Man game. I was instrumental, not instrumental. I was like involved with the building of the Con Man game from the ground up with Freema Studios. That's not out anymore, but that was fun. I really enjoyed doing that. But games now, it's hard to find that time because they're epic. You know what I mean? Like you got to give over a lot of time to them, and it's like golf. I don't have time to play golf anymore. But to sit down and give days and weeks to a game is I don't do it. I'll just jump on and play little games with my daughter. My daughters, we did tear through all the Disney ones with the characters. You put the characters on the pad and you'd go and fight and stuff.
Oh,
that's right. Yeah, we did a lot of that.
This is
a lot of that. Disney Infinity. Yeah, we had all the characters. Yeah, that was fun. I like playing games with people. Like when we first the game that really, the game that really, it's how I met Alan. We were playing Halo, the very first Halo.
Oh, wow,
and that game we were just obsessed with it. And we were out one night, and we had recently met Nathan, and he was talking to my wife. He goes, well, what would you guys do over Christmas? And she goes, I'm embarrassed. We spent the entire Christmas break playing Halo. And he was like, you had me at Halo. And then we started playing Halo together, but he'd bring over his machine and I'd have my machine, and we'd land them together and play back to back on 2 TVs. It'd be like, don't look, you're looking where I'm at. Because we'd turn the maps off. And then, then we were going 3-on-3, playing those. And Nathan used to interview people to come play with us. And when he was doing Serenity, him and Alan became fast friends, and got Alan to play Halo. And he brought him over, because I'm bringing this guy over. His name's Alan Tudyk. He's going to be our third. He's new, so don't be too hard on him. And we used to do that Sunday. They'd come over before dinner, and they would leave Monday morning. It was fun. That now you just go online, and like I miss that part, co-oping and being right next to the person.
Yeah, those times are a lot of times have gone in a way with some of the current stuff going on. That's why I can't wait to get my hands on what's that retro system coming out? Television AMICO is like in April, comes out in April, and it'll be there to bring back the family fun games into one. If you guys don't know anything about it, look it up. It's in the description too. It just kind of brings you some of the old past games, from the early 80s will be kind of reinvented and created to it's like a current version. So It's like a whole new system coming out in April. It's more like bringing the family together. If you want more information, in the description here in this video. But
what I miss most of those, we used to have, I can't remember what it was called, but we used to have those driving games where we would sit side by side. We have the wheels and the pedals, and it would be split screen on the big TV, and you would race each other.
Yeah.
And you can't get race games like that anymore. You got to do it all online. I tried to buy systems where we could play next to each other, and you can't. It's just somebody's got to go on some other online account. I'm like, well, this is fun. I want to play with the person right next to me. So that can't do that anymore. Burnout. The game was called Burnout.
Burnout, yeah, that's a great game.
The first one.
Yeah.
I love that game.
I love Burnout. They just recently put a remaster of Paradise on Switch. Paradise, I don't think is as good as 1, 2, and 3, but it's still Burnout.
yeah, I miss that. I still have the wheels and everything at the studio. I think I might have thrown them out now.
Throw a party.
Yeah.
Again.
I still have my old Xboxes. Like I got so many game consoles. It's ridiculous. I refused to buy the new ones. Drew had 3 PS5s at the studio. Nolan took one. And then there's one at the studio, and then Drew took one, and they were like, "You want one?" I'm like, "No, I don't need one. I don't want one."
Going into, I wanted to get into something that caught me watching almost every episode of Con Man, and I think when I mentioned the bartender.
Yes.
And I'm like, what? I was like, wait, then for a while, it finally hit me. That's the dude from Starship Troopers. So I went back to go look. I was like, yep, that was it. So how did that happen where he came in and he says nothing? And I was cracking up so hard the other day. And as Alan and Ray's talking, he's just staring, and he's working at a restaurant bar, and he's just pressing the, what do you call that thing? He's mixing like a drink on the blender.
Yeah.
And Ray's trying to talk. He's like, and he just, I don't know, but what happened with him, or how did he come in and play with that?
So it was this idea that Alan had, and Casper. We wanted to do something with Casper because he's such an iconic character in the sci-fi world, and that part was originally supposed to be played by Jerry Doyle. It was originally going to be played by Jerry Doyle. But he was in Germany at a con and got mugged, and he was unconscious for 3 days. And on the first day of filming of Con Man, I was, like, where are you, Jerry? And then Casper was going to play a different character. I can't remember what Casper was going to play. And then we asked Casper if he would step up and do this. And then we talked about expanding the role into something If you watch it, watch the character and tell me, is the bartender actually there? Is the bartender really a character, or is he a figment of Alan's imagination? Is he
Oh
a
man,
figment of Ray's imagination? Because he doesn't interact with anybody else.
no,
He
no.
only interacts with Ray.
Yeah, man, it does make a lot of sense because it's like no one else communicates with him at all. Not even the other workers. Nothing. Just Ray. But Ray's trying to talk to him, but
And
the
he's
guy's not
always
listening.
there. He's always there. He's at the juice bar. He's at the.
When he
He's
got drunk that night.
always there. So Casper is a figment of Ray's imagination.
Wow, I like that. Just how it plays out. Oh yeah, man. I'm still mad right now. It's like, no.
Yeah,
No,
Casper did a
eventually
good
we're gonna
job.
have to get a petition out, get you guys back in there, find this, get this back up there. Just it's so awesome. I can just or to tell you how you must have had an awesome time just doing that every single time you were on set.
It was so much fun. I loved it. I was ready to do it for years. I would have done it as long as they let me do it. I really, really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. And, you know, Skylar, my daughter, was in season 1. She played Cytheria, and that's based on my Softwire books. It's from that world.
Oh, okay.
And then Zoe was in season 2. She played the studio exec of social media, you know, run by 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds. We had to teach her how to flip the bird. So
yeah. I saw that one today.
So we were at a festival, a con, and there was me and Alan and Nathan, and we're up on the table, and there's a lot of people in the crowd, like 4,000 people. And Zoe and my wife and Skylar are sitting in the front row, and Nathan, they call him Uncle Nathan. They see him. Nathan sees them there in the front row, and Nathan goes, "Zoe, what did Uncle Nathan teach you to do? Show everybody." And she stands up on the chair. She turns around to the whole audience, and she goes, "It's funny."
So yeah, those are good times. I like this. Just are you along the excitement that you had with that, and you just mentioned your daughter being in there. Anyone else, like family or just any of your friends that maybe you got in for an episode, or just your daughter?
Well, a lot of my friends are in there. Like, they're all people that we hang out with. Like, that was what's great about Comment. It was just picking the phone up and calling people, from Felicia Day to Will Wheaton to Michael Trucco. Like, those are all guys that, you know, we all met through Nathan's parties and that, and we've all become friends over the years. So, you know, I think that really contributed to it, especially in season 1. It was such a friend environment. It was such a friend environment that it was infectious for everybody. Like, everybody wanted to be the friend then. You know what I mean? Like, even if they weren't, it was like, oh, I won't come back. I like hanging out here. So yeah, there's lots there. I'm trying to think, but yeah, my wife was in it. She played a Valerian at the party scene. Both my daughters were in it. Alan's wife is in the party scene. Lots of people were extras that were friends of ours, that were fans. You know, they were all the supporters that we got to be friends with over the years. I still talk to lots of them. You see them in the backgrounds. JP and those guys that wear the Halo suits, they're in there. I still see them. They came to the Retro Replay studio. So it's good. It's good. It's a lot of fun.
So it was like, it's almost like it was it felt like family of you know, you had family, the whole set, even your friends, everyone was a big family and enjoyed making all this. And of course with Retro Replay, with them mixing well together. Are you able to tell us anything if you're working on something currently right now that's not out yet, or you can't go into too much?
I'm working on this TV series right now. It's a thing called Ohana. We just shot some pieces of it in Hawaii. It's more in the development stage right now. That's the biggest piece. I have another project I'm working on, a TV series called Schoolboy, that we're trying to put together, which is it's a really good script. I'm excited about that one. And then we're doing a lot of advertising work right now, so that takes up a lot of time, and Retro Replay takes up a lot of time. So though, you can only have so many projects on the go. We just started Red Bear Publishing, so we're re-releasing the Softwire books through Amazon Unlimited. and some new book series. We did a deal with Shannon Eric Denton, and we have the Actionopolis books that we're pushing through there as well. He just started a great new company, Monster Maker, so it's just good stuff coming from him. So yeah, so there's always projects on the go, always.
I'm thinking I'm gonna have to catch up, and so I like reading me a good book or two here and there, and it's that time, I can play my games or whatever, but I find myself having that extra time. And which book should I grab first of your?
Well, you got to read them in series, so you got to read the Softwire Virus on Orbis 1.
Okay.
So it's out of print. The original is out of print. You can still get some used ones online. I actually don't even have any copies left. I've got copies of 2, 3, and 4, but I don't even have 1. So that's why we got to re-release it. So re-releasing it. Nathan's doing an intro for it. I'll re-release the 3 chapters that he read of it to get people interested in it again. And then we're expanding on that series. What's that?
Is that coming soon, or when he's gonna?
That's coming real soon, like 30 to 45 days. So it's on its way.
I'm definitely very interested in that, and I'm still like at the same time, I'm also I've been drawing pictures, writing stuff, and I've got a writing program. I'm working on my own little fantasy book too, but it's big challenge and getting into and learning something, and I want to be able to go back into reading other people's novels, and maybe that kind of helps me build and piece together what I'm doing.
Yeah, when I was writing, it was a different mindset. It's a different brain. When I was writing in a genre, like if I'm writing science fiction, I can't read science fiction. If I'm writing fantasy, I can't read fantasy. Like I'm so nervous about getting colored. So I actually go read nonfiction when I'm in my writing spurts, or I'll read in a completely different genre. So that I don't want that story to get affected. So it's tricky. It's hard. I got to put my writing hat back on. I'm started a column on the retroreplayshow.com. So I have to put my writing hat back on. We'll see. If things settle down a little bit, I had a little more time, I wouldn't mind doing that again.
Okay, I got a good one for you. In your entire career as a producer, book writer, do you have, whether it's a show or your most, let's say, proudest moment that you were there or sitting down and you just felt like, I'm so proud of this idea or this thing out of your entire career?
One of the things I was most proud of was when Alan and Mindy got nominated for an Emmy for Con Man.
Yes.
I was really proud of that. It was, it's like to be able to do something where people you love get recognized for their talent while you made it when everybody had so much fun. It's like the perfect world scenario. I definitely, that definitely was big time for me. And then one time I was walking on a con floor and a guy stopped me and he goes, "Mr. Haarsma?" I go, "Yeah, hi." And he goes, you came to my school when I was a kid and I read your books, and your books made me want to go into science, and now I'm a scientist. And I'm a scientist all because of your books. So thank you. And that made me feel good. I was like, wow, okay, cool. I guess you can do something good in the world.
Wow, that's cool.
Inspiration. Ray, do you have something for us?
I mean, maybe one question. If you had like one thing to say for, let's say there's like an aspiring person like looking to become a producer, become a writer, what would be like your one piece of advice you would give to them?
The one piece, someone that was trying to do it. Yeah, would I be cynical? What would be the advice? I think it's hard if you try to do the job. If you try to do it from the outside, it doesn't hurt to go and start smaller and learn some things inside the world. Like if you wanted to be a producer, if I could do it all over again, I'd probably go and be an agent somewhere or start inside the system or start at a studio. Like, don't be afraid to get some experience. I've always tried to do it from the outside, and it's all, I can honestly tell you now at 56 that it's taken me longer And, you know, I still haven't hit the heights that I thought I would. And I can attribute it to, you know, being too much of an island. You know, don't be afraid to get in and get involved. If you're embarrassed that, you know, you might not be this, that, or smart enough, or whatever the excuse you have, is just like that. Don't do it. Just go get that job, you know, read scripts for somebody, just get that experience and move around, especially when you're young and you have that time. And then, you know, keep working on your stuff. If you're writing, keep writing. If you're directing, keep directing. If you're shooting, keep shooting. But get some experience, because that experience also helps you with connections and learning people. And, you know, everybody, if you go through Hollywood, people move up in groups. So if you're in the right group, you move with that group. And you know, if you're an honest person and you do the work you say you're going to do, they'll tap you to do more. So that's an important thing too. You know, you really got to throw yourself into that. And yeah, I think that's what I would do. I mean, I hesitate when you ask me, because my kids are coming up into that element. You know, like, what are you gonna do? You want to come work with daddy? Do you want to? And I'm like, I'm rolling it around in my head on what I should say to them. So yeah.
You want them to follow you right into your footsteps, or just?
I don't know if I do. I really don't know if I do. I make them go
Or at least
work at a studio or something first. See if they want to do it that much. Because the truth is like, sometimes I work with these people that come right out of Chapman or something, and they've had somebody pay a degree for them to, you know, be a director or something. They'll walk on their first day and they'll be like, well, where's my movie to direct? And I'm like, you see that pile of cable over there? Go pick it up, bring it over here and put it down for 10 years. And some people are like, oh, I can't do that. I'm not doing that. Where am I? And they're automatically going at it from the wrong way. And then they try to go do it on their own, and they do it from the outside. And then you know, money gets spent or wasted, and years go by. And yeah, it's a tough business. You got to have the stomach for it, and you really got to love making shit. Like, if you don't like making shit, don't do this. You have to love it, because it takes, like, when we shoot Retro Replay, there's, how many is in their studio at the time? 1, 2, 3, there's 6 of us. And there's prep the day before. And then we're in there for, you know, from 8 to 8. And then the work starts. You know what I mean? And we do that every week. So you got to love it. And I love it. I love it. I love to get up. Oh, shoot day. I'm excited. I get to go do it. You don't love it, even if there's a little snickling of it that you don't like it, this career is not for you, because you can be struggling for a very long time before you catch a break. Does that sound depressing? Did I just make everybody depressed?
No, that was inspiring. You something that you would tell your children to love what you do, and, you know, just make sure, I think, you know, I'm sure you know exactly what you'll do when the time comes, and point them the right direction. And so we all do. You know, I think about my little 1-year-old right now, and I gotta point him down the direction. I wish he wouldn't grow up, but he's gonna get out of that. And my little week, so it's like,
enjoy it. Yeah,
enjoy it now.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, he's gonna, you know, just gonna learn something new, and he's not gonna be doing maybe what I like to do, or whatever. He's gonna find himself. I'll make sure, you know, that's what we all do. So
yeah, and the job he's going to do is probably not even invented yet. That's the truth.
Yeah, that's pretty
cool, guys. This has been fun. I've enjoyed this.
Yeah, I'm definitely
enjoying.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Inspiring, you know, what you can bring to us, and, you know, this has been a definitely awesome trip, just to learn and get more in touch with, you know, who you are behind the scenes, not directly in, you know. I would love to have Alan. He's so awesome, but I love having you here. You are great. You're fantastic. It's just,
thanks,
man. It's behind it all, the books, behind the show, behind, you know, the Retro Replay, and your success is very good, and you bring a lot of us together. So we thank you a lot for that, for what you do.
I appreciate it. That's why we do it. You know, we love to have those communities that get to share and talk about it. And, you know, we had a conversation about something we made that is a piece of pop culture, and that's you know, that in and of itself is an accomplishment, to be able to share that with a complete stranger and have a common ground. So it's kind of fun to be able to have that under my belt and be able to just somebody to say, oh, this scene in Con Man or this scene in your book, and and have that conversation with a stranger, and they're genuinely happy is a really, 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 really good feeling.
Thank you for that. Ray, do you have any last or finishing like comments or anything you want to just say to PJ?
Just thank you. Thank you for coming by. Thank you for hopping on the podcast. I'm not really a regular here, but I definitely wanted to come to join with you because I want to just pick your brain a little bit about, film stuff and all that. And yeah, thanks for coming. Thanks for
You're welcome.
Mr. Switch for asking me to hop on.
You guys are great. Thank you.
I know it's going to be kind of with everyone, most of the crew out doing their thing, and it's fine. Like I always tell them, you're not obligated, just come when you can. And I appreciate Ray. Just so you know, Ray is a fantastic, and he's really good at his editing. He's got great things going on in his channel. I'm still amazed Ray's here. It gives me that time, and appreciate you, Ray. Just so you understand, for being here. And
yeah, anytime I can make it, I'm always here.
I will check it out.
Yeah, you should. You need to check out Ray's also in the description as well, and he's very good with his videos and editing, things like that. Always something new, a new product to show us, and so forth. Again, and with you, PJ Haarsma, I want to say thank you for this opportunity. It's been great, and it's just kind of like it inspires me a lot to. If I didn't do something now, don't worry about it. Just think about the future and do it now. Don't wait.
Don't wait.
Start preparing for it. Don't stop.
Get it done.
Get it done. Prepare for it. Help. I want to help my children. I got 3 kids, and I want to make sure that they are inspired to. If my son, he wants to be an engineer, that's what he wants. Make sure he hits that goal. If I want to finish my book, I will do it, and I will succeed in it. And I just can't wait and then say I never did it. So yes, I'm gonna have to drop the video game for a minute. I'll still do my podcast, but I got to make sure I do what I want to do. But thank you for the inspiration you brought to us here. And
Good stuff.
Gonna keep doing it. I'm gonna
Don't
follow
stop,
you.
buddy. Yeah, I'm gonna keep doing it till I die. So keep doing it.
So we appreciate you. And for those who popped up in the chat, in the live chat, thank you so much for stopping by. And anything else you want to say, PJ, to us, or question to us? Are we good?
No, and just check out the new retroreplayShow.com. Please stop by and subscribe to the channel. Come join the community. You're going to love it. And we do on their Thursday shows, we do live chats during and on the premieres, and those are always great fun. And there's always room for one more, so please come on over.
It's awesome. I do have in the description, we have everything from PJ Haarsma's career information on there. We got his Twitter, we got his retro replay on there, information about the website to Conman, and I'm gonna add in the retro replay of show.com on there. Yep. So we're gonna have that on too. I'm gonna get straight to it right now and just kind of go more into it and be a part of your community. So
that'd be great. I'd love that.
Amazing. So for those who are watching, I thank you guys for stopping by and joining in on this awesome show. And with the awesome PJ Haarsma and with Ray Strazdes. And I'll see you guys on next time. Gamerz Realm. Peace out, guys.
Thank you. Be good.
Bye. Thanks for watching.
As soon as oh, here we go. I forgot to do the end part. There we go. All right, guys. We are off the air.